You know Rudolph and Snoopy, Frosty and Judy, Piggy and Mickey, Shari and Pee-wee? But do you recall the most wonderful special of all? If the Jinx and Dela holiday special isn't part of your yearly traditions, you're missing out. It's got everything. Prancing, holiday spirits, and generous helpings of implied nudity. Not to mention me, in the credits. I was the behind-the-scenes photographer for the special. And I want to share what I love about the special, along with some of my memories and my experiences. And I'd like to share a conversation with a very special guest.
I'm DeLaCreme, and I am the director and one of the producers and the co-writer and the co-star of the Jinx and Dela holiday special.
Dela was so generous to speak with me on very short notice, while on tour from a dressing room. So now let us begin a journey into Christmas past.
I have always resonated with Christmas specials in general. There's something so bizarre and surreal about them. As a lover of stage performance and drag and cabaret, there's a specific fourth wall breaking and variety element that really, you see it in older television specials, but it is most prevalent in these holiday specials, and it's at its wackiest. Whether you're looking at the Pee-wee's Playhouse Christmas special, or if you're going back way further to the Judy Garland Christmas special, where she's like fake inviting someone into your home, but also your home is a place where a kick line of Santa Clauses might run in at any given moment. It speaks to my aesthetic in every single way. And, as somebody who, like many people, had kind of a complicated relationship with the holidays and everything that entailed in my real life, the Christmas special was a place to seek some solace. The Christmas Story, Grinch, Charlie Brown marathons are, there's a reason that they're on 24/7 that time of year, is because we need to find a place to go.
Hey, we're all misfits too.
In 2014, I needed a place to go to. I had just moved to Seattle, and I was missing my old San Francisco holiday traditions, like Heclina-era Golden Girls Live. One of the first Seattle events I went to was a Halloween party hosted by DeLaCreme. It was a hoot, and I heard that the holiday show she co-produced was even better. I interviewed Dela's close associate, Ben, back in 2016. It was an especially stressful season after the election we just had, and we talked about tackling that year's Christmas show.
We talk about it as a chance to gather together and sort of bask in each other's glow and gather strength for the year to come, because there are battles. There are always battles, and right now there are even more battles. And so we need to really use that feeling of community as fuel.
Having a Christmas tradition that was also super queer was a big deal. Christmas can be stressful, especially for queer people.
I had been making queer holiday live events for a big chunk of my adult life. And part of why I began doing that was as a way to stop going home for the holidays. It was a way to be like, hey, I got a gig. Sorry, I can't go be part of this fraught event on the other side of the country.
Around 2017, another Seattle drag legend, Jinkx Monsoon, was doing holiday shows too.
Jinkx had been doing her own holiday content for a few years with her musical partner Major Scales, and we had both just been on our first seasons of Drag Race, and I had hosted her viewing parties for Drag Race, and we just didn't expect the response. People came out in droves to see the two of us on stage bantering and just playing off each other.
And Ben's partner Gus had an idea.
Gus specifically was the first one to say, hey, you've both got the holidays free this year. People really like watching the two of you together. What if there's a Jinx and Dela holiday show? And the original idea for it really was just us sitting on stage together and riffing, doing a few songs and just chatting. But of course, it is not my style to leave anything that casual. So it turned very quickly into a fully scripted show.
The Jinx and Dela holiday show launched in 2018.
You have backup dancers? It's December, the splendor.
The response was just incredible.
Yeah.
And it could have really gone either way. So we were delighted, which, meant that this year we could expand it even more.
Right.
And I found that as I created that for myself, more and more each year, I was aware of how many other people were looking for something similar, an alternate place to go.
I think it's a community building experience to all come together and watch a drag show together.
It was just hitting with people in a very specific way, and we were having so much fun with it. And so, yeah, we felt like we had this big momentum 2 years in, and then the pandemic happened, and we were like, crap, we really started building something, and we're going to lose all this.
In 2020, everything was closed. Bars, theaters, community centers, there was no way to stage a live show. So at first they thought maybe they could just put it online.
Originally, it was like, all right, well, maybe we get into a theater and we restage some stuff from past years and we kind of film it on the stage. And then again, it's just kind of not my particular style that was the original idea that was pitched. And I was like, I don't like watching a recorded version of a stage show as much as I want to see a film adaptation of it. And if we're making a movie, let's make a movie.
Just one problem.
I'd never worked in film before. I had done some video work when I was in college.
Ben wrote a script and showed it to a friend of a friend named Brian Benson, who had made some independent films.
And he was like, okay, well, this isn't a screenplay. Let me show you how to format a screenplay. It was one of those things. I think if any of us had thought too hard about it, we wouldn't have done it. But it had to happen like that. It was like, well, if we're going to have this come out in December, we got to shoot it right now. We just full throttle dove into it.
I first heard about what they were planning in August of 2020. The team wanted to know if I could be the on-set photographer. And they told me they were planning to shoot at a building that I knew just down the street in Seattle's neighborhood. My first thought was, I must have misunderstood something. I knew that building, and it wasn't a soundstage. It was an office space and some conference rooms with a little black box theater and a workshop for building scenery. Their plan was to paint the theater, build a bunch of sets inside, rehearse some songs and scenes with numerous costume changes in the span of just a few weeks.
We were trying to accomplish this, which was, pretty unheard of. Like when I tell people in the film industry what the timeline and the budget was, and specifically the budget, they're like, how? And when we started this thing, we did not anticipate anyone really seeing it. I mean, we anticipate it as just like sort of, we're going to dump money into this black hole because we believe in this, and hopefully it'll keep us on people's radar a little bit so that they'll still come back to the live show later.
They started putting together their team.
A lot of the performers you see on screen are folks that I had worked with already for a decade plus. A lot of the artists who were creating the puppets and the visuals were people that we had worked with, artists we'd worked with for ages, all these amazing Seattle-based folks.
The dancers I'd seen in other shows around town. I knew the hair and makeup artist from their drag shows. I knew the costumer from his art shows and from the previous year's Mr. Nude Seattle. But still, this was a huge undertaking even in normal times. And this crew was going to be doing it in the early days of the pandemic, which meant everybody was taking regular COVID tests, the really unpleasant kind where the swab goes way up your nose, and wearing masks on set, and when they couldn't wear masks because they had to be in makeup, holding these makeshift shields. And on top of that, the main set was designed to be huge, complex, with weird lighting and hidden compartments and trick walls, and it was not coming together as smoothly as they'd hoped.
We actually, I think, started shooting like maybe 2 days late. I mean, me and Gus and Kevin, the producers, were in there, it was like 2 a.m. the night before we started shooting, and we were still painting the floors with rollers.
This set was where the vast majority of the show took place. So until it was done, a lot of the filming just had to wait. Getting the set done would be a major test for whether this project was even feasible.
And I think that first moment of kind of walking in the day that we were shooting and having everyone see how the space had been transformed, it was like, oh, this is happening. This is our Pee-wee's Playhouse.
It was so exciting to imagine what was about to happen there, as long as things went according to plan. Filming got underway in early September. Not a lot of time to make an entire special and get it out for the holidays.
I mean, none of us slept. We were all just like kind of running on fumes, but no one stopped. We weren't going to allow it not to be the biggest, most beautiful version of itself.
Looking back at the behind-the-scenes photos and videos, something that truly impresses me is just how much Dela is doing. We all know her as a performer, but it's amazing to see her work behind the camera, running lines, blocking dances, directing cameras, positioning props, supervising fart rehearsal. And also making time to be genuinely invested in how everybody's doing, even down to tiny details. In this scene, there's a dinner with nearly a dozen family members. They only appear on camera for a few seconds, but Dela had a backstory for each character, so the actors knew exactly what to do when the camera rolled. And I also want to point out just how beautifully handmade this special is. Most of Dela's shows involve puppets of some kind, and this one's no exception.
Maybe you'd like a little more nog, dear.
A lot of the behind-the-scenes craft involved creative solutions to tricky challenges, like marching through these trees. There's a really amazing shot in one of the songs where the camera pushes in on Jinkx at a table, then backs out and suddenly she's on a stage, like she teleported. How'd they do that? Well, there's no edits. It's a choreographed shot that took about 30 people to pull off. Even more ambitious was this nearly 3-minute dance sequence caught all in one take. The sequence is amazing. It moves across every different part of the set, with a ton of dancers who all have to hit their marks with perfect precision, with props, while doing dance moves inspired by Bob Fosse's Rich Man's Frug, a notoriously difficult dance. And there's a tricky spill onto the stairs like Columbia in Rocky Horror, and choreography by a lot of people that you never even see. The camera operator, people bringing props in and out, the crew holding the light, all of them having to follow Jinkx every move without bumping into each other. And of course, everyone has to do it in the dark.
No one plays Santa for me.
It reminds me of the making of a film like Rope. Alfred Hitchcock shot long segments of that film with actors and the camera moving all over the huge set. Crew was just off camera to slide furniture into place, sometimes lift glasses up so actors could reach them. They even used special walls with hidden seams so they could slide apart and let the camera through. And I really appreciate when art can pay homage to other art, not copying, but creating something new, which isn't easy to do.
It was an ambitious thing. One-shots are not easy to pull off. And I think a lot of us didn't think we would necessarily get it. I think we thought we'd have to pull some editing tricks in the end. But when we got that shot, I think, and it was very early, it was one of the earliest things we shot. And I think everyone was like, oh, okay, we got this whole damn thing.
Even for solving small problems, it's craft and skill. Like when this apple cookie jar accidentally broke and nobody could find a replacement, someone had the brilliant idea to grab a round light fixture, paint it red, and draw a black line around it. All that clever craft and artistry reminds me of the classic Christmas specials like Rudolph with the handmade puppets, or The Grinch with the lovely hand-drawn animation.
The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
We had all these amazing artists who all were out of work and looking for some place to put this energy that they cared about. And everyone really cared about this project. They cared about the mission statement. They cared about the building of community through art making. They cared about having something to do that just felt like it was coming from a place of passion. And so everyone, you know, every cast member, every crew member, every artisan creating puppets, sets, just went full steam at 120%. And it was a magical thing to be a part of.
A lot of holiday specials start with the conceit that you've arrived at the star's home.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, but would you like to... I shouldn't keep you standing here this way. Come on in, come on.
This one's no exception.
We are overjoyed to have you in our home.
It's a sound stage.
Well, yes, but we do sleep here.
Like you'd expect from other classic specials, Dela's character is intense about Christmas cheer.
So welcome to Dela and Jinx's
Jinx and Dela
Christmas
holiday
Snowtacular Hot Chocopalooza Baby Jesus Hour.
I get it. I love a Christmas special too. I love the music.
Load of lots of gifts and toys are in his sleigh.
Close. I love the warm feelings.
What's Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, that's when you gather together with the people you love and you wish each other peace on earth. Oh!
I love how gay they can be.
Here's 2 more fruitcakes, Ronan.
I even love Christmas ads. This one Coke commercial has been making me cry for 30 years. The point is, Dela's character has built up a lot of importance around the holidays. It's gotta be perfect.
I can't wait to voice this feeling upon my loved ones.
But Jinx's character has other feelings. She shows up surly, sporting an iconic style. And to her, the only thing special about Christmas is how annoying it is.
You fascists in your red hats! You're so busy shoving Christmas down my throat!
I'm sorry, I thought you liked that.
Christmas can be a lot to swallow. The obligations, the gifts. But did you know this year you can give the gift of me? It's now possible to give your friends and lovers a gift subscription to my Patreon. They'll get hundreds of hours of Patreon-exclusive bonus videos on topics like the behind-the-scenes drama of the Judy Garland Christmas special, a tour of classic holiday commercials with icons like B. Arthur and David Bowie, Christmas carols with John Waters, and things that are not about Christmas. Head over to patreon.com/MattBaum or click the link in the description to get started.
Have yourself a Matthew Little Christmas. Click like and subscribe. Hit the bell and that's how you get notified. So have yourself a Matthew Little Christmas. Tide.
So as I was saying, even in beloved specials, you can see how hard the holidays can be. Often, those specials are about an outsider whose big triumph is either changing who they are to fit in,
He himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast.
or finding a way to serve the very traditions that had rejected them in the first place.
Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
It will be an honor, sir.
Especially for queer people, the holidays can be a time of intense stress. For example, for me, Christmas usually means seeing family that I love. But sometimes it also feels a little like regressing. Going back to the small New England town where I grew up, staying in my childhood bedroom, going to Denny's with my friends from drama club with no gay bars for miles around.
Christmas in Connecticut, as frosty and white as the state itself.
When I go back for Christmas, it sometimes feels like nothing has changed. And that makes it easy to feel like I haven't changed. And I'm as cut off from queer culture, from my culture, as I was when I was young. For other queers, keeping up traditions can mean getting stuffed back in the closet so you don't upset the grandparents, getting dragged to a church that thinks you're sinful, being surrounded by images of straight families that look nothing like your own. So I get where both Dela's and Jinx's characters are coming from. They've both built up a lot of expectations based on how things have gone in the past. And that's based on real life firsthand experience.
I grew up in an environment where tradition was a shackle.
Old traditions are important too. They keep us tethered to the past, like a cinder block to the ocean floor.
And I saw my family and certainly myself becoming more and more miserable year after year by the constant enactment of things that had not served anyone for a very long time. Motions that were being gone through because there was this duty to carry on the traditions of the ancestors, but like for who, for what, you know?
So in the special, as Dela gets more insistent about sharing the holidays,
I just wish that I could force her to have a good time against her will, like you did for me.
And Jinx gets more resentful.
I don't need to live on this soundstage. There are all sorts of unlocked buildings I could be sleeping in.
Their struggle is reconciling their feelings about the holidays. Some good, some bad.
That's what this show has always been about, is letting go of what you've been told needs to happen and getting to the spirit of what it's supposed to be, which is ritual and tradition that is created out of a place of we come together at this time because this fuels us in the darkest, coldest months. Reinventing the holidays as what you want them to be and as what you need them to be, what serves you.
And that idea, reinvention, doesn't just have to be a once-a-year thing.
And it's something that we talk about specifically at the holidays, but it's also a universal message. It's the thing that, you know, hopefully we carry through our lives, is is inventing our lives for ourselves, inventing our community and committing and supporting community.
The future can be whatever we want.
Fuck it. Our traditions can be whatever we want.
So those were all the feelings that, are important to me. And I'm always kind of coming from this mushy emotional place around it. And then my natural inclination is just a bunch of dick jokes and like weird, very campy visual gags.
Everyone loves Santa's sack. The sack is the tenderest part of the Santa.
Shooting wrapped in mid-September after just 9 shooting days, an entire special filmed in just over a week. I'd seen beautiful work come together on set. Now the question was, would anybody see it? There was very little time to get it edited before the holidays, and because it was made independently, the plan was to release it independently, on demand, through Vimeo. The special would have to rely on word of mouth, up against other releases like a new Wonder Woman, Tenet, re-releases of Elf and Die Hard. So as lovely as the movie was, how was anyone gonna find it? Release day came on December 1st, and at that point the only way to watch was by going to jinxanddela.com. But then
Hulu called us and said, because, some gay who worked for Hulu had watched the special from our Vimeo site and was like, we should stream this. And that's crazy and unheard of, and very much felt like a Christmas miracle.
I remember the day after the special went up on Hulu. I was walking down 12th Ave, just a few blocks from where the special was shot. It was night, there was a house on a corner with a big open window into a living room, and I could see a group gathered together, watching this special. I have never been prouder to be a Peeping Tom. 2020 feels like a long time ago now. It is hard to think back to just how relentless that year was. This special gave us something good, finally, at the end of a very hard year. And it also encouraged us to look forward to making a better future together.
So next year we'll find a tradition that's new and gay.
The next year, the pandemic was a little more under control, live shows started coming back, and Dela and Jinkx could once again take their live show on the road, keep the tradition going, and bring the tradition to new people.
We have so many people who this is their tradition, and that makes me really happy because it's mine. Just on this tour this year, I've talked to people who are like, oh, last year we decided to make this our tradition, or, this year we decided that we're going to come every year. It is much larger than me or Jinkx or the two of us or the casting crew, but it is creating community, connecting through art, carrying on a spirit of queer rebellion. That's what that means for people to return over and over again, that we all return over and over again, that the audience and the people on stage are all making the same choice to be there together.
That's what I find so magic about queer holiday shows, whether it's MAME sing-alongs, Golden Girls Live, slutty Santa parties.
I think the longer I do this particular project, and drag in general, but really this project is what is teaching me. When you create work that comes from a desire to connect and to genuinely build community, like for yourself, everyone is participating in creating what this is.
But not everyone is happy about the queer community coming together to create new traditions.
On our tour this year, we're not in Florida and Texas, which is very sad because I believe in being with the communities that need us most. But this year was an issue of theaters complying in advance, of saying we're afraid to lose our funding. We can't host you again,
Sometimes it feels like each of these shows is a capper on the toughest year yet. Here's how Dela ended the show in 2016.
I don't know if you guys gathered this from the content tonight, but it's been kind of a tumultuous year. And, it's scary right now, and it feels like things are possibly moving backwards. But, the past few decades, a lot has happened. And it's because there's people like all of the people who are in this room right now who are speaking out and being strong about moving history forward in the direction that they'd like to see it go.
It's been about a decade since Dela gave that speech. And when we spoke, I asked about the state of queer performance today.
I very adamantly believe that we, as a people, as a culture, as a performance, as a mode of communication, this isn't going anywhere. It was born out of having to be, on the sly, secretive, happening in these specific places. In a broader scale, when we step back and look at history, this shit's not going anywhere. And I also think that live queer performance, very specifically, is something that once you have awareness of it, people will always seek it out. The people who it's important to, the people who need it, will always find it. And the people who make it will always make it. I think live performance is going to become more and more important in that regard. This becomes the third space. This becomes like, we go here to be physically with people. Like, you can attack it as much as you want, but it's never going to die, because we're always going to need it, and we're always going to want it, and we're always going to fight for it.
Huge thanks to everybody who helped bring this video together. Ben DeLaCreme for making time to chat with me. Gus Lanza for coordinating logistics. Thanks to the cast and crew of the Jinx and Dela Holiday Special for creating such a magical experience. Go to the Jinx and Dela Holiday Show live if you're able, and if not, it's available to stream at jinxanddela.com. And I think you should watch it. Thanks to singer Michael Sobie and composer and music producer Caleb Martin for creating the Have Yourself a Matthew Little Christmas jingle for Gloria, and for music throughout this video. There's links to their work below. And thanks to Bill Fair for Judy Garland from The Sewers of Paris. Thanks to Emma for the edit on this video. Check out her channel, Media Processing. And now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to enjoy my favorite carol.
Raspberry!
Gloria, you're always on the run now, running after somebody. You gotta get him somehow. I think you've gotta slow down before he starts to blow it. I think you're headed for a breakdown, so be careful not to show it.
You really don't remember? Was it something that he said? Are the voices in your head calling Gloria? Gloria, don't you think you're falling?
If everybody wants to, why isn't anybody calling?
You don't have to ask.